my buddy. Okay. 25 right there. Where'd the other? Huh? Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Houston with a Problem. You're in it to win it. Sorry there was no show yesterday. I just had things to do and couldn't get the time to do a show. But it's okay because we got Charity Tuesday today. And we're raising funds for Mental Health America. Oh, my microphone is not quite in front of me. Raising funds for Mental Health America. We got $1,000 goal. So please throw some money at it because obviously this is America. And we're full of a bunch of people who need mental health treatment in the most desperate way. If you're watching this show recorded version, somewhere next to your screen will be a donate button. You can donate anytime from now until infinity. As long as this video is up, you can still donate to Mental Health America. So please do so. Charity Tuesdays are the best day, and I greatly appreciate the fact that we've made it, I think, 20 shows in a row. We've reached our goal. The first show was a $500 goal, and then we've done a $1,000 goal after that, and we have crushed it every single time. A couple of times it's gotten right down to the wire, and somebody jumped in and saved us at the very end. And I want to thank you for doing that. This is showing us that we're already at $33, except I don't see... It says there's a missing $20 donation, but whatever. YouTube's telling us we're at $33. Leo B, who won the raffle last time. Oh crap, I forgot to... Oh, I still need to send Leo B his poster. I've not had a chance to actually look. Okay, Leo, I'm gonna get your poster. I still haven't done that yet. I haven't thought of a raffle this time, Monkey. Holy crap. What shall we do for a raffle, Monkey? Ooh, I want to make my fish wears a mattress shirt. Let me see here. One sec. Let me close that. Close that. Go there. Click on that. Open this. Make you small. Go to massages. Need to find where are you, buddy? Where are you? Where are you? Nope. Keep scrolling. Jorge, there we go. Gotta go back like forever. Not that one. Okay, so this is an idea for a shirt. Shaboink, and there. Yes. Okay. Got a crowd. Got a little girl representing my sister. In Japanese, she is saying, "My fish wears a mattress." So, what more appropriate than nonsensical Japanese t-shirt for a prize for Charity Tuesday? So, this means I have to make a list again. Bear with me. Do I have paper? I got paper. So, we'll make this. Oh my god, I gotta devote a day to actually getting that shop up and running. This will be your t-shirt prize for today. My fish wears a mattress. Does that work for everybody? Okay, so that means I gotta go back. Leo B is in it for a chance to be a two winner in a row. We've got I was anonymous. Cameron Mirza. KYP. Woo. Michael Harrow. And I want to thank another anonymous that's in there. Okay. All right. Okay. So Michael's the last one on that list. We'll do another raffle. This will be your shirt. This little girl screaming, "My fish wears a mattress," and getting an entire crowd to do it as well. And then there's Bex. Okay. I As an accidental appropriate one. I did not mean to run it yet, but it did it, and there it is. So now it's off. Ha! Scott says this show is good for your mental health. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Okay, so now we got the charity out of the way, and we are 7.6% of the way there. Eclipse tickets, thank you. Eclipse tickets. This shows me basically me writing things down from now on. Boom. And Mirza jumping in there again. All right, so we are 1.9% of the way. Oh, Anonymous kicked it in. Dang, Anonymous. Okay, we are 19% of the way there. Fantastic. So, all right, let's keep donating by all means. Help those who need it. You guys are awesome at this. But let's talk about the news, because there is a lot of news. So, last week we touched on the fact that Deutsche Bank might be in super trouble. We have the bullet swaps apparently expiring tomorrow. GameStop NFT Twitter account alluded to something loading on the 29th. Is this it? Are we going to see like $100 billion in closing of short positions that happens here? Not quite sure. SS Mel Johnson with his $1. So man, stuff's getting weird. Stuff's getting weird indeed. So banks are crumbling. The liabilities from Credit Suisse are insurmountable. Regional banks are getting bled dry. We've got all sorts of major news articles coming about commercial real estate, commercial mortgage-backed securities that are all crumbling and aren't worth spit. We've got the federal government is doing quantitative tightening while they're doing quantitative easing. And remember what I was talking about? It was like shit or get off the pot time, like pick one or the other. And I said they were likely to get off the pot while they're shitting. That's exactly what they're doing. They're speedballing the economy. They're printing money and trying to restrict it at the same time. And that is a recipe for just heinous disaster. Don't do that. Pick one or the other and accept the fate. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna get the worst of both if you shit while getting off the pot. Evergrande, worthless. Anyone who had those bonds, worthless. Which means Royal Bank of Canada, 6% of their entire portfolio, blink, gone. Right, one of the biggest banks in the world. We've got reverse repos are going crazy. So we've got over $2 trillion in reverse repos happening right now. And quick explanation on reverse repos. This is when banks give their money overnight to the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve gives them interest rate. Right, the interest rate is paying at like 4.8%. That's kind of high. Which means the banks have more money the next night to put in there, which means they gave them more interest rate. Okay. Here's the problem. The banks can still borrow from the Fed at low interest rates because we're quantitative easing again, right? So they can borrow from the Federal Reserve, take that money, give it back to the Federal Reserve, and get a higher interest rate than what they're paying on what they borrowed. So essentially, the government is making an infinite money loop for the banks and then not letting them spend it. While we're in the middle of of a coming credit crunch, because we've got just a boatload of commercial bonds, commercial real estate loans, mortgages, all coming due, and they're defaulting. We're at 30% vacancy for commercial real estate across the United States alone. China is probably at 50% vacancy in their big real estate bubble that's happening. This is just perfect storm territory. Sebastian Junger's going to have to write Perfect Storm 2 to write about all this stuff. So, where does that leave us? Well, if everyone's assets are about to blow up against their liabilities, then the liabilities have to be closed. That's the way the system's supposed to work. But we're not prepared for that. We've never been prepared for everything dying at once. Your insurance exists on the probability of something happening, whether it's a car insurance or health insurance, whatever. Like, something will happen at some point, but it'll be spread out over years, and not everyone's supposed to have an accident at the same time. But if every single car in America, all on the same day, all 400 million cars or whatever in the United States of America, all got in a crash accident on the same day, totaled, done, insurance companies would go belly up because there's no way they could pay out on 400 million cars all getting into a crash accident on the same day. They count on, a fraction of a percent of cars each day to get in an accident, and they can disperse that. What happened with mortgage-backed securities in 08, 09 was that they were insured by like AIG and others who presented insurance for those securities, and they did not expect all of them to go belly up at once. And yet, all of them went belly up at once, and that drained everything out of the insurance companies, and they needed bailouts. So what we have now is we've got, I don't know, $7, $8, $10 trillion in liability for a whole bunch of short plays that were made by hedge funds and family funds, and their core assets, their bonds, are worthless because the fixed rate bonds have no value in an economy where interest rates are rising. And so they can't figure out how to dump this stuff. And then if they dump it, they admit the loss. If they admit the loss, then they have to write down their margin, which means they get margin called and liquidated. So everyone is just like waiting around. They're like the hear no evil, see no evil monkeys. Just pretending as though everything's fine. Ha ha, everything's fine. But someone's going to be that little domino, pink, that starts the whole thing coming down. And we're just in the middle of it, and we're waiting. Hoshi Gaming. Hoshi, thank you. And Tony Tran. All right, got quite the list going already. That's a 20. And Marvin G. Oops, that looks like Marvin G. 10, thank you. Awesome. Okay, so that's off the top of the bat. Bullet swaps expire tomorrow. Will the weird stuff happen tomorrow, or will it happen like a 1 or 2 day delay from you owe us? I'm be very curious to see that. I don't have much scratch left over at the moment, but I'm trying to make some plays tomorrow morning looking into the future. Rosa tweeted out that she wants to do a Q&A. She doesn't know if she'll do it on her channel. She said she would like to do it on my channel, but she can't see the chat. So I'm going to figure out a way to get her the live chat so she can see it. It probably can involve just opening up the YouTube video and putting it on mute or something. But she might be on the channel maybe on Saturday, and we'll do a show with her. Left-handed wave. Whoa. There you go, buddy. Someone's in it to win it right now. Okay. Hoshi Gaming. I don't get used to America after being in Japan. I feel like I'm in a second world country, even though we call it the first world. Got any tips with finding jobs in Nihon? Are you under 30? If you're under 30 years old, you can apply for the JET program. And the JET program allows you to go to Japan and teach English. It's an exchange program, a cultural exchange program that the United States and Japan has. And you can go over and you make a meager living, but you get to go teach English, and that could be your foot in the door to doing other things in Japan. I have several friends that did it. One of them ended up marrying a Japanese lady and lives over there full time now. I'm too old to do something with the JET program, but you have to have some competence in Japanese to qualify, because they don't expect you're not going to have like a guide taking you around. You're going to be on your own, and you're going to be teaching English and stuff like that. So I look into the JET program. Also look on the USA Jobs website and see if there's any jobs that they're hiring for in Japan for Americans on bases or in consulates or something like that. That's a good way to go. You don't have to worry about getting a work visa or anything in that case. You're an American who's going to be working on a base or something in America. So try that. Okay. Oh my goodness. Billy the Kid. My pencil is like no tip on it, and it's Billy the Kid. Boom. 34.6% of the way there, and we're only 15 minutes into the show. You guys are kicking ass today. Oh my goodness. Again, we're raising money for Mental Health America. If you've never read the news in your entire life, you may be unaware of the fact that the United States of America has a massive mental health crisis. And that spills over into the rest of the world. And we've got a really terrible healthcare system. So we have to lean on a lot of charities to help treat and deal with those who need help. And this can be anyone from those who are having episodes of psychosis, those who have cluster B personality disorders, those who have overwhelming effects of trauma, brain damage, neuroses, suicidal tendencies. By all means, if you feel any of these things, or you know someone needs the help, contact mental health professionals and get them the help they need. And groups like Mental Health America can help out and help you navigate that and get them the help they need as well. So please, if you're suffering or you know someone who is, get them the help they need. And in the meantime, you can donate to a wonderful charity who makes it their entire mission to get people mental health care. So thank you so much. Thank you. Right, Monkey? Monkey Butt had a harrowing weekend. So Saturday morning, because I'm a night owl, Saturday morning at like 3 a.m., let her outside, immediately gets in a fight with a coyote. She's kicking its ass. And I hear the ruckus, run outside, coyote sees me and runs off. Boom, gone. Monkey's like, I want to murder. And she is amped and like heckles her up. She's pumped. She wants to go in the forest and kill things. I'm like, we're not going to do that. Simply because it's dark outside, and sometimes coyotes have packs in the forest and they want the dog to follow them out there, and then they just rip them apart. So next day, it's like 2 in the afternoon. I let her outside. Coyote, I think it's the same coyote. I'm not quite sure. It's a pretty big one. In the yard again. They get in a fight. Monkey is murdering it, basically. She has it on its back. She is blah, blah, blah. And the monkey, the coyote, like hind legs kick her. And I get outside. The Hebrew Hammer roommate runs outside. He's got his pellet gun, and we're ready to like take care of a coyote. And the coyote runs off. Monkey runs back, and she's like amped. She's like, wow, I'm gonna murder. And I check her. She seems all right. Doesn't seem like she's injured. And in the later afternoon, Monkey and I are like, well, you really want to go through the forest and find these things? Let's go through the forest and find some of these things. So we do a big route through the forest for maybe half an hour or so. Look under all the trees. Found a couple of burrows that could be maybe coyote related under some big stumps, but didn't find any coyotes. Get back, enjoy the rest of our Saturday. Head over to my mom's for dinner and visit with her. And then I noticed there's like a little blood spot on the carpet. I'm like, uh-oh, maybe she is injured. So I check her again. I roll over, and this time I find right on her inner thigh, like right next to her hoo-ha, really, is quite a gash, pretty deep. And I think it's because from that coyote kind of mule kicking her off, and just one of the nails got her. But she doesn't seem to notice. And it was Saturday, and the cost of going to the emergency vet on a Saturday is like thousands of dollars. So we cleaned it with some hydrogen peroxide. We patted her up, and she really doesn't seem to care. And it's been a couple of days. It's scabbed over. It's not infected. We did not have to spend a bunch of money on the monkey butt, which is good. It's good not to spend a bunch of money on the monkey butt. But she's still like, every day, she's like, I want to go outside and murder some coyotes. 'tis the season. They just dropped pups a few weeks ago, and they are on the prowl. My roommate said he saw some like young deer in the yard. Maybe the coyote was stalking them. But nature is where we are. So, yeah. All right. Fabrizio GME, why haven't I received my GameStop NFT? Were you supposed to receive one? I don't know. I think it's more if I spend on my own mental health. It's $5 donation. Hey, it helps. Oh, David Wick. Got David Wick. And hamburger with extra pickles. That's a long one to write out. Hamburger with extra pickles. Dang, you make me tired with that one. That's £5 Put BP on that one. Because actually we'll give you, I think, six entries for the and if you just joined, we're raffling off this. Get a t-shirt with a little girl screaming, "My fish wears a mattress" in Japanese. And those of you who are unfamiliar with Japanese fashion, for 40 years now, they've had a great fascination with writing just absolute gobbledygook in English on their outfits that makes no sense. My dad got me this hilarious like tracksuit when I was a kid that along the stitching had pieces from looked like from a novel. It's like a spy novel, but none of it made any sense. It was just like random words that had to do with like spies and missions and alarms and whatever. They love nonsensical English on fashion. So, utilizing the genius of myself, my little sister, and Jorge making us this great graphic, you too can have a shirt with nonsensical Japanese on it, just to make the Japanese go, "Wait a minute." Yeah. There you go. So 37.2% of the way. Oop, and 37.7% of the way. Anonymous just donated in there. Thank you, Anonymous. If you donate with your name, I can enter you in the raffle. If you donate as Anonymous, I have no way of entering you in the raffle, so I apologize. But thank you for donating to our cause today of Mental Health America. Okay. Snurtlert, did you hear about Sears? Yes. So Eddie Lampert, who is the big hedge fund private equity dude who kind of took over Sears and then ran it into the ground. He has given up trying to seek and squeeze out every penny he can out of what's left of Sears. So Sears has $5.6 billion. Their liabilities are around $1 billion, which means we could be getting anywhere from $4 to $5 billion in dividends on our Sears shares if we have any, which, depending on the share count, some share counts have 55 million, other share counts have 110 million. If it's 55 million, it might be close to $100 a share if that's what it is. If it's 110 million, 30 to 50 a share. So let's do it before GameStop goes nuts so we can spend all that money on GameStop shares. Come on, Eddie. You should have finished this crap a year ago. But, Dillerman's Wharf. Thank you. Dillerman's Wharf. Boom. Shabam. 38.2% of the way there. Awesome. Honey Horse, y'all naked up in here? No. I got my cool shirts, Honey Horse. Favorite Sergeant Major Acme is getting spicy. Really? 10K just dropped. Did it? Which 10K? Was it Jimmy 10K? They had not dropped theirs yet. Or Acme 10K? 8K, nope. 10K, nope. So not that one. Oh, 10K, okay. So the Acme one did, but I can't talk about Acme, so I won't be reading that one on here. Okay. I can't do that, so we're stuck there. I'm looking for that Bed Bath & Beyond one, BBBY. Ideas Matter 7707 Houston. The word is AMC is squeezing on news that Amazon has interest in buying AMC. Can you prove the veracity of these claims on Twitter? I cannot prove the veracity of those claims. They are all so far rumors with no connection. But both Apple and Amazon seem to be pushing hard for movie theaters, because they want to legitimize their streaming, because they make money off of the streaming, but they can make extra money by putting stuff in the theaters first and then putting on their streaming platforms, which is probably the smarter way to do it. Because if you're Netflix and you make $100 million movie, and you just show it on your platform, you've made no money specifically for that movie. But if you make $100 million movie, put it in the theaters, make $100 million off of it, and then put it on your platform, then all of a sudden you have like actual tangible value associated with the film that you spent money on, and you have the residual value of placating your subscribers. So that, I think, is where Amazon and Apple are going. And now that they have destroyed the Paramount Act, which barred studios from owning theaters, studios, I think, are gearing up to spend a lot of money on theaters. And a company as huge as Amazon can absorb AMC's debt, and they won't care. AMC's $5 billion in debt is like what Amazon can produce in a week. They don't care about $5 billion in debt. Amazon has so much debt that's beyond that. They don't care. So, and Amazon has the ability to also purchase property rather than lease it back, because they're so huge. They can buy the land that the theaters are sitting on, and then they can have tangible assets that they can borrow against and do other things with. So it would work out for a large company to gobble them up like that. And now that the AMC doesn't have the poison pill option, because they used it on the ape shares, it makes taking them over easier as a result. So, I mean, this was all the rumors that were happening last summer with Disney. That Disney was going to be purchasing AMC for the exact same reason. Didn't happen. So, where are we now? I mean, Amazon owns MGM. So they've got the entire MGM catalog. They got Amazon Studios and MGM Studios making things. So why not? Why not jump in on the theater thing and make, antitrust nightmares for everybody? Chris Taylor. Thank you, Chris Taylor. And thank you, Anonymous. Here we are, 42.2% of the way towards supporting our mental health needs with Mental Health America. And we still have an hour and a half left in the show to get to our $1,000 goal. So let's do it. Bruno Bars. There we go. Really, monkey? Really? Is that so? You don't bark. What are you barking about? There's nothing out there. There's zero things. There's nothing. You're barking at absolutely nothing. There's no cars in the driveway. There's nobody outside. There's no one talking. There's nothing. There's nothing there. What are you barking about? There's nothing. Do you want to see? Do you want to look? Come here. Come here. See? There's nothing. There's no one out there. Yeah, that's about. There's nobody out there. There's not a human being. There's not a dog. There's not a coyote. Is the cat meowing? Don't you let the cat in? 1 second. Come on. Come on. Come on. In the meantime, while we're gone for a few seconds, donate as much money as you can to our charity. Come on. There you go. See? There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. Get out there. There's nothing. There's not a darn thing out there. All right, she got that out of her system. Heckle's up. She had to do a run around the house, make sure there's nothing there. And there we go. Hey, and it worked. Dips Patel and bleh 8319. Dips Patel bleh 8319. Boom. See? Sometimes you just gotta placate the dog. And now she's totally good. There you go. Okay. Where was I? Before we had to run outside. Like you can smell Kenny's mayo. All right. We're talking about Amazon. That's all done. KYP Houston, let's all pitch in. The state of the world is horrible, especially for those suffering from mental illness. Yes. Thank you, KYP. It's brutal. And in the United States, 55% of the homeless population is actively suffering from psychosis. So doing what we can to help those folks actually helps our cities as a whole. So that's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for everybody else. Right? Casey Chapman. Casey. Oops. And I can't spell Chapman for some reason. Chapman does not have a D in it. I don't know why I wrote that. Chatman. Boom. All right. Almost halfway there. 44.2% of the way there. Fantastic. Okay. Vizio guy, my fish wears a world champion mattress, I believe. Mariners getting there. This is the Mariners' year. They look good in spring training. Opening day is Thursday against Cleveland at home. And the weather's supposed to be pretty good. It's supposed to be in the 60s and kind of warm, which is good for Seattle because the past few times we opened in Cleveland, it got snowed out, which is a terrible way to open the season. Is a 4-game snow out. Ew. Gross. Have Cleveland come here and we'll do it that way. Johnny Sack. Much love, Houston. Thank you for helping raise. Here's $5. Oh, Johnny, you were with that anonymous? I can throw you in here. Johnny Sack. So, Johnny Sack, which is a hilarious name, by the way. Sacramoni. And there's a $5. Okay. Andrew Stewart, that may have been my 20. I don't know. I've been drinking at this point. Okay, Andrew. Hitting that Tuesday hard. Just from Dax, why did FINRA rehash their frequently asked questions? Who do you think they are gaslighting? Yeah, Tony Twits did a great tweet he sent out where he showed what had been added and removed from the 2 frequently asked questions. And it raises more questions than the frequently asked questions answer. It seems that they probably had a lawyer go through it and go, you guys shouldn't have posted this. Let's fix it. And some in-house lawyer did some tweaking. And they posted it again as if that will all of a sudden make a bunch of DD weirdos like us who screenshot and save everything placated. They don't really understand how the internet works. And I don't think they understand that when something's posted, it's essentially posted forever. So we know, and then the courts will know, and it's not going to save them at any point. They'll be like, Your Honor, we made a good faith effort. And his or her honor may be like, well, but you still posted it. Probably shouldn't have done that. It can be used in court now. Jimmy 10Q is out. Also, Jimmy 10Q is out. Okay. Jimmy 10Q. Filing date 8K. Where's the 10Q? Form 10Q filing. GameStop. Is it? This is... Nope, that's last year's. I don't want last year's. I want this year's. 10Q. 10Q. 2022. 2022. No. SEC filings. Give me that one. There it is. 10K. The 10K is out. All right. It's probably going to be long as hell. How many pages are you? Oh, you're very long. Okay, so table of contents, blah, blah, blah. 62, 70 pages. Man. Ugh. Okay, what we got? Business risk factors, unresolved staff comments, properties, legal proceedings, mine safety disclosures. Okay. Market registrants, management discussion, quantitative and qualitative discourse about market risk, financial statements, changes and disagreements, accounts accounting, controls procedures, other disclosure regarding foreign jurisdictions, prevent inspections, directors, executive compensation, security ownership, certain beneficial owners, certain relationship-related transactions, director independence, principal accountant fees, blah, blah, blah. All right. I don't even know where to look for anything exciting on here. Nor do I want to spend a show reading this thing out to everybody. That does not seem like fun. I don't read 10 Qs for charity. Okay. Got their stores, blah, blah, blah. Their vendors, competition, trademarks, Game Informer, stuff like that. Talking about the risks. Yeah. My eyes already glazed over on that one. Sorry, but it's out. I will read it later. And if there's anything interesting, we can talk about it then. Okay. All right, we're at Johnny Sack. We're at 10Q. There we go. Okay. Busy guys, intro count if you don't call it. I totally flubbed the intro. I accidentally did it, but I was going back to Big Houston to play the intro, so it's like a happy accident. That's what happened. Holdress in Houston, have you seen the movies with James Bondolo, The Greatest Spy of Africa? Are those like the weird Ugandan cinema things? I've not seen it, but I think I've seen clips, and they're hilarious. But I've not seen the actual movies. No. Cameron, please do not put me in the raffle. Cameron does not want to be in the raffle. Okay. So Cameron Mirza likes donating, but does not want to be in the raffle. That's okay, Cameron. You don't have to be in the raffle. Somebody else can win the shirt. This is Mid Johnson. Please put me in the most ridiculous raffle you have. Bex Houston, you've helped my mental health a huge degree over the last 2 years. You are a lighthouse of positivity and hope. Happy birthday. Well, thank you, Bex. And I do need to do another Twitch. I said I was going to do a Twitch this weekend, and I ended up not doing a Twitch this weekend. So I do need to do a Twitch for those late night owls who like to have me read off French highway names. Reclaimer. Let me some hype dates, but this is definitely just NFT stuff. I hope I'm proven wrong, though. Well, the bullet swaps expire tomorrow. I don't know what the time frame is for comeuppance on that, but there it is. Just from Dax, what happens if when Deutsche Bank goes bust? I don't know how the German banking system operates. I don't know where Deutsche Bank has their liabilities. I don't know how Germany would save Deutsche Bank and those assets. I don't have a clue. If there's any Germans, all the Germans are asleep by now. Sorry, there's no Germans in here that can answer that question. But man, I have a feeling that there's a lot of Russian money that may or may not have been seized at this point that may go blink. But I don't know. Deutsche Bank loves laundering money. They're really, 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 really good at laundering money. That's kind of their big business, is they just move money around for the most terrible people on earth. Guitar Stuff, Houston, thanks for the stream. Well, thank you for joining us, Guitar Stuff. Mimi Petros, MMTLP on May 11th. I don't know. People have been saying that. Tashatsu Onegamashimasu. All right. Trey Spider's on his way to work. Bam! Big ass Mexican. They're waiting to bite the bullet. The whole system's going to crash. The daughter is going to be worthless. The whole system is shit. Yeah. It's as good as a summary as anything else there, Bam. Mark Jones, what swaps expire tomorrow? The swaps are the bullet swaps left over from Archegos. So Archegos got seized was sometime in March 2021. And they apparently had launched a whole bunch of bullet swaps on their liabilities that they had. And when they got liquidated, those bullet swaps got gobbled up by Credit Suisse and have been bringing them down ever since. So the short plays that Archegos had done basically destroyed Credit Suisse and is continuing to destroy them. And if UBS took on that liability, it might destroy UBS. So this poison pill is just spreading. And those things expire tomorrow, which means they're supposed to make good on the debt that's incurred in those swaps tomorrow. So that's a lot of money. Billions. We know that there's GME in there. We don't necessarily know how much. Someone shared a Bloomberg. It was a Bucky Rensel. He showed a Bloomberg terminal image showing that Credit Suisse had like $410 million in shorts. It was 410 billion. Whatever it was a ridiculous number that should not exist. And that those are probably tied up in those bullet swaps. Georgia Herd. Georgia. Stupid pencil will work. And Don Caesar Shadem. Thank you, Don. Okay. We're over halfway there. 51.2% of the way to our goal. Let's make our, I think it's our 21st. I'll do the math in my head. Okay. July 2021, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, special January, February. So we had 21 successful ones in a row. This will be 22 if we get to our 1,000. Because we did that special one for the earthquake in Turkey. And so we're at 20. We have done 21 successful Charity Tuesdays in a row. And we are over halfway to our 22nd successful Charity Tuesday. So I'd counted wrong previously. Hey, and I think we're at 40. I did the math a little bit ago. I think we're at $40,000 raised in those 21 shows. So we can get to 41,000 with this show if we're lucky. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get us there. Why am I looking for all the smoke like that? Hoshi Gaming, I speak intermediate Japanese. I understand much more than what I can talk about, but I still talk. Thanks to tips. Yeah. Okay. Monkey Butt is a very tough lady. She's not very big, but her strength to weight ratio is absolutely insane. And apparently she doesn't feel pain. So she's got that going for her, right? Right, Monkey? Yeah. She's got that going for her. Juan Ortega swaps expiring soon. Hopefully Jimmy go brrr and Black Swan event ensues. Let's hope, man. Let's hope. 88 Red Mustangs jumping in. Here we go. 88 Red Stang. Bam. 517. Gentleman's Wharf. I love the Cherry Tuesdays. Me too. Citizen 54. If swaps expire, can't they just swap it again and reset the time frame? Not necessarily. Remember, you have to post collateral to be able to work in the derivatives market anymore. So if they have to post an obscene amount of collateral and the cash isn't there to do it, then they don't get to swap. So, and who would want to take that on? Who would want to take on that liability for that 2-year period in a market like this? I don't know if they'll find a partner to swap with. Maybe like the Swiss Central Bank might be able to take it from them. But the Swiss Central Bank is like bankrupt right now. They've lost 150 billion dollars in the last year. That's a lot for a tiny little country of 8 or 9 million people. No me gusta. Richish Kakar, what is the charity for? The charity's for Mental Health America. It's a nonprofit that helps get people the mental health care they need. They do a lot of preventative care, so they identify folks that are on the cusp and they try to get them treatment before things get bad. They also provide care to people who are in crisis. And in the U.S., we don't have nationalized health care, so we're pretty terrible at taking care of our own. If you don't have health insurance, you're screwed. Even if you have health insurance, you're often screwed. I just read an article today about a collections agency coming after a 4-year-old because the 4-year-old hadn't paid his healthcare bill. So, we're just failing our citizens massively, and we have to rely upon the goodwill of charity to do a baseline amount of care for an absolute minimal amount of people. So that's why we got to do charities like this, to do the best we can because our government won't do it. Yay, Merca. Gentleman's Wharf, do movie theater employees receive overtime pay? I would assume so. By law, if you work over 40 hours in a week, you should get overtime. And if you work more than 8 hours in a shift, you should get overtime. So, I think so. Chris Holcomb. Thought AMC parent company stock price falling like a rock. Acme parent company, sorry. If you had to guess a bottom, what would it be? Pennies? They don't get to report their big sales they made this year until next quarter, or this January until next quarter. So they've got 3 months or so until they can be like, hey, this is our latest earnings, and things went well. We made a lot of money, but they don't get to say that yet because the quarter hasn't ended. So if they do, they'll be like, hey, things went well, price goes up, then they'll be okay. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, Houston. How would you explain to people trying to understand what MOAS is and the movement behind it, trying to get parents to understand? Oh, man, that's the entire reason I made my original Twitter thread explaining GameStop 2 years ago, February 2 years ago, is because my dad kept asking questions and I kept answering him. And then he'd be like, I don't get it. And I'd answer him again. He'd be like, I don't get it. And I'd answer him again. And finally, he got it. And I was like, that's how I need to explain it. And I wrote my Twitter thread that then went weirdly viral. And now I do the show as a result. Basically, hedge funds, they take investors' money. They have clients, customers, to take their money. And you have to have $1 million minimum to join a hedge fund. So you have $1 million, you become an accredited investor. You can then invest that $1 million with a hedge fund, and then the hedge fund manages your money and try to maximize what they can get out of it. So they take that money and they buy a bunch of blue chip stocks and they buy a bunch of bonds, largely treasuries, solid bonds, stuff like that. Mortgage-backed securities that we all thought was solid, but not necessarily. Then they take that big old chunk of money and they borrow against it. And they can borrow up to 30-to-1 leverage. So their margin, if they have $1 billion, means they can borrow up to $30 billion to make plays. Now, you or I, in our Fidelity account or something, we might get 2 times if we're lucky. Maybe 3 if we got a lot of money in there. We don't get to borrow 30 times the amount of money that's in there. Only those accredited investors and those hedge funds and those big family funds can do that. So they take that billion, they borrow 30 billion. With that 30 billion, they make a whole bunch of short plays. And those short plays are often, I'm going to destroy this company, so I'm going to borrow a whole bunch of that stock. That borrowing of stock, it's attached to their margin. So let's say they borrow $20 billion in stock from a company, right? Of a company, and then they sell it. They sell it $20 billion, and their goal is to drive the price down, go back in, buy that what was $20 billion of stock for pennies, and then pay back their loan, and they get their old margin back again. And whatever the profit was on that, they can take that profit, they can put it into their assets under management, or give it out to their clients as dividends, and then they can grow and have an even larger amount that's 30x for them to borrow. And so they do this over and over and over and over. They may jump in on IPOs, get a tech IPO early, and ride that sucker up, sell it, add that to the assets under management, so on. But for the most part, that they're constantly in this battle trying to turn that $30 billion that's borrowed into a significant amount of money. The big problem is that they got addicted to destroying companies. And in America, monkey butt, don't lick. In America, you can destroy companies all you want. And no one really does anything about it except goes, oh, KP2 hobby's gone. And so many hedge funds and so many family funds formed, and there's only so many companies they can destroy, that what happened is they all jumped in and dogpiled on the same companies over and over and over, and they shorted them too much. Now, when you short a company, you borrow stock, you sell that stock at a high price, and you hopefully can buy it for a cheap price later. But if everyone borrows a stock and borrows more than the shares that exist, when the stock price drops and they'll have to go in and buy that stock back, it can cause a squeeze because they're all buying at the same time, causing the price to rocket. If they're forced to buy it back, let's say you borrowed $1 billion in stock and all of a sudden the stock price went up and you owe $2 billion, you're going to get margin called. Someone's going to say, hey, I want my stock back because it's worth a lot of money and I want it back. And you might be forced to go in the market, buy that stock at a price higher than you had sold it for. And then a whole bunch of other hedge funds at the same time are all doing the same thing, causing the stock price to rocket beyond that. Which, if you're being forced to buy back $2 billion in stock, but the process of trying to buy it back makes it cost $10 billion, you may have just wiped out a significant portion of your margin or a significant portion of your assets under management, which will then wipe out your margin. This stuff absolutely brutalizes hedge funds in the end. And because none of them are inventive or creative, they all do the exact same thing. And they're all going to be facing the exact same consequences. So, explain to your parents is these companies decide to try and destroy the same, these hedge funds decide to try and destroy the same companies all at the same time and then over leverage themselves. And now the value of those companies are going to explode and destroy the hedge funds. It's like the coyotes monkey butts fighting. If the deer population explodes, the coyotes eat all the deer, nom, 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 nom. Then the deer disappear, and the coyotes all starve to death. In this case, the coyotes are the hedge funds, and the deer are the companies they're shorting. And then they short everybody, and now they're all going to starve to death. So we need to cull the coyote population and get it back down to a healthy level, and MOAS is going to do that. Casey Chapman, I don't know, Bruto. Didn't Bezos start off his career in the hedge fund industry? Amazon directly profited from putting companies out of business through the short distort scheme. That's true. They do that. They did that as well. They will gladly gobble up, the remnants of eToys and KB Toy Hobby and Toys R Us and all that stuff. They will pick over the bones, no problem. Where was I? Okay. We'll have any donations in a minute. Again, please donate to Mental Health America. Help out folks who need it. We are more than halfway there. We've got an hour and 5 minutes or so left in the show to raise $483. I think we can do it. I think we can. We got 277 of you. If the 277 of you in here all donated $2, we would crush it. So, by all means, 2 people left. They're like, oh, no. The 275 of you in here wanted to donate $2. We would meet our goal. So, think about that. Put that towards your mental health. Monkey Bite knows there's a coyote out there. Houston will return wearing the blood of their enemies. Eric, Amazon buying AMC would be a bad, stupid move. Theaters don't make money. All the quotes on how much a movie theater made are for how much the studio made, not the theaters. I mean, theaters can make money. They make most of their money off of concessions, which is why concessions are so ridiculously expensive at movie theaters. The fees they have to pay to be allowed to show the theater, and the ticket sales remediation they do is a lot. But if you are a big company like Amazon, who can have the theaters as sort of like, I don't know, it's like the Corvette in the showroom, right? Everyone heads down to the car dealership. They look at the Corvette and go, "That's really pretty," and then they buy themselves a Malibu and drive home. Right? So if you are designing your product to be sort of a prestige product and you expect to make a loss on it, then it's okay. AMC's losses are almost entirely due to the fact that they have an obscene amount of debt and they're paying interest on that debt all the time. And if they could eliminate that debt, they would not have the losses every quarter that they do. So a big company like Amazon comes in, who doesn't give a shit about $5 billion in debt. They're like, whatever. They can absorb that, and they can immediately look at the company as a fresh start standalone and go from there. I'd be curious, like, if you're going to buy a company, why not buy Regal? You can get them for like 8 cents right now. You can buy the entire company for like a fart and a handshake. So I don't know, but AMC is healthier. Maybe that's why they're looking at it. The better marketing. I don't know. Oh my goodness. The Kid Crid. We got Billy Duckhead and the Kid Crid in here. And Anonymous, thank you. Julianne, thank you. Oops, Julianne. Boom. $582, 58.2%. We got $418 to go. Ooh, I can smell the finish line from here. Scott Pollan, 76 million shares DRS by 197,000 household investors. That's quite a bit. How big's the float now? 300 million or so? No, 300 million is the total issued. The float's like 150, so that's half the float. Not too shabby. Oh my goodness, we're just jumping in here. Jeff Chrisman. Man, you guys are going fast. Jeff Christman. There you go. Thank you, Jeff. Another big anonymous. Anon C-SPAN. C-SPAN. Boom. 692. We only have $308 to go. You guys are fantastic. Oh, dude. Look at that. Motoring right up. Woo! William Morgan. Eric, theaters keep approximating 45% of the box office in America, 50-60% overseas. Scott Pollan for GME, 25% shares outstanding. Yeah, so like half the float. Not too shabby. Oh my goodness. Walt, another anonymous, thank you. Walt Chavaria. And SJ has been a hero the past couple of shows. Goodness gracious. 919. We have $81 and then we're there. Vera. Oh my goodness. Here it is. Everyone's just pouring in here. Vera Nocam. Hopefully I can read my handwriting when it comes time to do the raffle. Some of those I did a terrible job writing. But I recognize most of your names. Man, 939. So $61 to go, and we will have had our 22nd successful Charity Tuesday in a row. Whew. You guys are impressive. That's awesome. William Morgan, a film has to bring in over 2 times the cost of production, advertising, and distribution to break even. Which is why 1996's Men in Black made $600 million and every year still posts a loss. Hannibal Grimm, everyone in Uganda know Kung Fu. So it is Ugandan cinema. I thought it was. I gotta watch those movies. I've seen like the clips on YouTube and they're hilarious. Cy W, if Schwab goes down, what domino effect will it have on TD Schwab accounts that are possibly hold shares like Acme? If a broker goes down, it's the same thing as happens when a bank goes down. Regulators seize them and then sell off the assets to another broker. So Schwab may have bitten off more than they can chew. So Schwab existed for a long time. Recently, they gobbled up USAA, and then they gobbled up TD. So they may have taken on more accounts than they can handle. And I don't know, there seems to be a run on Schwab right now. So if they go under, I would expect to see another big brokerage, E-Trade, Fidelity, someone like that, step in and assume control of the assets. And I bet they do it like the banks, where they get to pick and choose what they want, and they bid on that, and then they leave the liabilities with the taxpayers, which is what was it? First Citizens Bank bought SVB for $500 million. They bought the good stuff for $500 million, and they stuck the FDIC with all the garbage. So Chase did the same thing when they bought Washington Mutual. They went, I want this. I want this $300 billion of good stuff. You guys deal with all the crap. And the FDIC was like, okay. And the taxpayer took on the liability from all that stuff. So that's probably how it will work. Spy of Africa joke. Hannibal Grimm, Houston, who killed Captain Alex? A must-see. Walk Hollywood. Might be still on Prime. Okay. Who killed Captain Alex? Where's my... Oh, I do. Oh, there's my cat pen. Who killed... Captain Alex? Okay. On Prime. Let's do it. Okay. Scott Paul and GME 10K highlights. Oh, good. Someone read it. Establish omni-channel retail experience. 2, achieve profitability. 3, leverage brand equity to support growth. Okay, that's pretty standard. They did the profitability. They got that out of the way. Omni-channel retail experience. I guess multiple platforms. Yeah, and leverage brand equity to support growth. They do have name recognition that other retail brands do not have. I do not think they've quite fully capitalized on it. I would like to see some traditional marketing being done by GameStop. It can't all be guerrilla marketing and Wall Street Bets weirdos talking about it all the time. They're going to have to, like, have a TV commercial play every once in a while and be like, GameStop, come get your game stuff here or online. And people go, oh yeah, I want to get game stuff. I should go to GameStop. Needs to be a little bit more of that in the general public's perception. Karen Mirza, is Schwab going down? Sounds like it. The only stuff I have in Schwab are my crappy penny stock plays that I do. I don't really have anything of value in there. It's all stuff that does this between 1 and 2 10,000ths of a dollar all the time. Scott Paul and GME emphasis on cost containment and improve margins through operational discipline and higher margin product categories. 2, ensure cost structure is sustainable relative to revenue goals. Okay, good. Karen Mirza, what's up with the nuclear weapons from Russia to Belarus? Yeah, Russia is moving, or they're claiming they're moving nuclear weapons from Russia into Belarus as sort of like a screw you, NATO, which is exactly why Russia invaded Ukraine was because they were afraid that United States would move weapons into Ukraine. So let's just move weapons into Ukraine then. I don't know. Russia has a lot of saber rattling, and their sabers all like rusty and broken. So they're going to rattle them, and they're more like rattling like a jalopy cruising down the street than anything else. They just sent a whole bunch of like T-55s to the front lines. If you guys know what a T-55 is, it is a like 70-year-old tank with armor. It's about as thin as a lambskin condom. So they're just gonna get eviscerated by NATO weapons, and they know it. They also are claiming that they're gonna have 50,000 North Korean Spetsnaz come to help Russia. I'm sure that they're buried somewhere with the 10,000 Syrian special forces that supposedly went there as well. No one's going to help Russia. Like every intelligence agency in the world sees what a graveyard that front line is, and they're not going to be sending people to help. At best, you'll get some ammunition. Probably not get major equipment, simply because no military industrial complex in any nation wants to see their equipment absolutely destroyed by 1980s US technology, NATO technology. And monkey butt. Monkey. Don't lick it. Don't lick things. It's a gross sound. So my guess is Russia's kind of on its own, except for they might get ammunition from people. Because who gives a crap if your 155 millimeter mortars explode somewhere? It's not your tanks or planes getting shredded by NATO equipment. And then, because a lot of these countries that build these weaponries, they sell them to despots in the third world. So if you are like an African nation, like, I don't know, Burkina Faso or something, and you're in the market for weaponry, the cheapest stuff is going to be from knockoffs from Russian Soviet standard weaponry. Your AK-47s and your T-72 tanks and stuff like that. But if you see those tanks getting ripped to shreds by cheap surplus stuff from NATO that you can buy for the same price, you might instead go, you know what? I don't need to buy weapons from North Korea or China or Russia. I can buy the surplus stuff from, Canada or Norway or whatever, France. And they might go with that. It's really, 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 really bad advertisement to have your weapons get just destroyed by like a bunch of barista and web developers. Cool? Are you cool, monkey? Come on. Get up there. Come on. Get up there and be a dog. There you go. All right, chill out. William Morgan, GameStop. 10K reports 197 58 individual direct registered shareholders, more than any company I personally have ever seen. I think it's more than any company in history, be my guess. Scott Pollan. 3, prudently increase the size and addressable market by growing product offering. 4, seamless in-store and e-commerce experience and delivery. For business priorities, section page 27. It sounds like they want to make Gmerica more than just video games and computer equipment. It sounds like they want to start offering things to a greater base. And if that's the case, then they've already attached themselves to more markets. Remember, Amazon started selling books because Jeff Bezos was like, media mail is really, really cheap. So if you sell books, shipping is below cost because the post office will send it for cheap. And when they built up a large enough audience that were buying books, they could start offering other things: bookshelves, reams of paper, computers, ebooks, toothpaste, toilet cleaners, desks, car parts, $100,000 Rolexes. You name it, it is on that giant website. And then they started bringing in independent sellers who could offer things that, Amazon didn't want a warehouse. And so they can use that as a marketplace to sell things. So I see Gmerica sort of following in that train, offering a wide variety of things outside of the original purview, and thus inoculating themselves to the whims of the game market. Josh Repels, Tennessee. Oh, we're so close. We have $41 to go. We are 95.9% of the way to our goal, to our $1,000 goal for Mental Health America. And you guys are awesome. And again, if you want to see what you're fighting for, our raffle is the My Fish Wears a Mattress t-shirt. And with a little girl substituting as my little sister, screaming, "My fish wears a mattress" to a crowded Mariners game. Which I think is actually just a crowd at a concert behind her. But still, my fish wears a mattress. Don't you want to be wearing that and have people go, "What's your shirt say?" And you say, "My fish wears a mattress." And they go, "I don't get it," and walk away. That is the dream, and you can live it. You have it within you to live that dream. And Rolnick, Houston. Planning a trip to Santa Fe, Monument Valley, and Grand Canyon. We have about 2 to 3 days at each. Anything you think we should absolutely not miss? Santa Fe is pretty cool. There's an art gallery. It's the last name of the art gallery is Wade, like mine. And they had some of the coolest art I'd ever seen in my entire life in there when I was last there. It was like 2015. Look for art gallery that says Wade on it, and you'll see some cool art. That's there. Going to the Adobes near Pecos is really cool. They've got like, you can go inside the old Adobes and see what they were like. It's like a national monument there. If you head west from there, going to Shiprock is awesome. Shiprock is really cool. It's the innards of an extinct volcano where all the magma that was frozen inside the lava chamber is solid and not all the rock wore away. So you just have this like spiky magma chamber. I highly recommend that. Monument Valley, Grand Canyon, follow the guidebooks for that, because once you get down Route 66 and you head down the other highways, you will just see amazing plateaus and valleys and vistas, and it's cool. Grand Canyon, if you're feeling athletic enough, do a hike into the canyon. I mean, granted, it's a mile down. It's a lot of vertical feet to go down and back up. But when you get down into the microclimates inside of the canyon itself, it's really gorgeous. And you can also you might be able to get a Havapie tour of one of the farms that are down in the valley. That's also neat. Check for a permit to go to Havasu Falls. That's also a cool place to go and a great time of year to do it. The weather is just perfect. Those are the big things I can think off the top of my head. Oh, if you're driving that way, go see Meteor Crater near Winslow, Arizona, because you'll be heading by there anyway. Billy Kid, my meme stock squeeze will help my mental health. Yes. Yogi 2012, anonymous raffle entry should go to Rosa because I'd love to see her in that ridiculous shirt. Okay. All right. Okay. I like that. All right. If you donated anonymously, we will make that a Rosa one. So let me put Rosa in here. I like that. Okay. Hopefully I can scroll back up and see our anonymous donations. Okay. There's 5. 105, 110, 130, whoop. Oh crap, I just lost my spot. That was 130, 180, 230. Okay, 230 so far for Rosa. All right, we'll make the anonymous. If you donate anonymously, it's going to be a donation for Rosa to be in the raffle. I like it. Okay, and BOFH jumped in there. BOFH. Boom. And that puts us at $9.85. $15 to go. $15 to go to meet our $1,000 goal for our 22nd Charity Tuesday, successful Charity Tuesday in a row. Yeah, good job, guys. Good job. Okay, where was I? I was at the make it rose there. Yogi's recommendation. Okay. GME Scott Paul and GME net 160 stores closed. Sales near flat, so making same sales with fewer locations. Okay. Good job. That's better than what Bed Bath & Beyond did, which they closed a bunch of they closed 20% of their stores and lost 20% of their sales. So, oops. Michael Steegs, Houston. I have a few thousand GME and I have 100,000 cash. Should I wait for Cheap Ape or put everything on GME? Oh, Michael. All right. If you put $100,000 on something that might pop, and we saw a $10 spike in GameStop last week alone. So if you had put $100,000 into calls on GameStop last Tuesday, you would have made $1.1 million on that by Wednesday morning. That's a good 10x on that one. You seem protected by your GameStop shares you have. Again, not financial advice, not financial advisor. Trying to think about like what I would do with that. I would buy longer term calls because that's a lot of money. Stuff that's for several months out. And just wait. If I had that cash, I would buy some longer calls and then just wait because it will spike somewhere in there because it's a volatile stock and that's what it does. And if it goes up $10, you just made $1 million. So, if it does like what it's done in the past, where it can go up 200% in no time, you made $2 million, right? So, or no, it'd be like 4 million. It goes up 100%, you'd make 2 million. If it goes up 4 million, you make $4 million. Or 200% go up 400. Yeah. So there's a potential for quite a gain there. Or you can just dump it all into shares and, turn the 100,000 to 400,000 or something that way. But the compounding of calls are very tempting for me if I had that money. Scott Pollan, GME, $1.139 billion in cash and cash equivalents, $5.927 billion in revenue, $4 billion in net sales. Only debt is French loan, $40 million at 1%, 5-year term expiring 2025. Oh yeah, so who gives a crap about that? A little French loan. No one cares about that French loan. Vizio guy, do you want to be in there? Because you won that one before, didn't you? And then you said, no, I don't want it. But that pushes us over the edge, though. We made our goal. We made our goal. We did it. Woo! And we still have 40 minutes. So by all means, keep jumping in there. Keep helping out. Mental health is a nonstop, relentless pursuit to try to help people get better. So, you may as well be relentless and help people get better. Jump in there. We met our goal, but that doesn't mean we should stop. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Non-C-SPAN, thank you, Houston. No, thank you. Kiffle, thank you. Awesome. Citizen54, Houston, can you talk about the holes forming in the sun? Are they actually holes? Will the sun finally wipe us out? Looking forward to it. Holes form in the sun all the time. When the sun is having an active period, lots of sunspots form. Sunspots are basically holes in the atmosphere. Sometimes they group together and make really giant ones and they disappear again. It's a normal thing. It just has to do with the way magnetic fields flow on the sun because there's multiple magnetic fields, not just like 2 poles like we have on Earth. There can be dozens of poles in an active big giant plasma ball like that. But when you have large activity from the sun, you got lots of sunspots, lots of holes in the photosphere forming. That means you have lots of coronal mass ejections, CMEs, which are the things that cause solar storms. So the thing to look out for is if we have a giant coronal mass ejection that heads towards Earth, and we can get ourselves like an event we had in 1859 where, you know, the northern lights are visible in the daytime and they're visible from horizon to horizon. And if we had something like that, it would knock a bunch of satellites out. It would shut down power grids in places. There'd be enough electromagnetic pulse that could stop watches and do all sorts of weird things that aren't shielded for that. And it could cause, you know, billions, trillions of dollars in damage to infrastructure. We normally get a good warning from our solar observing stations. We've got satellites that are out there orbiting the sun that are perpendicular to the Earth's orbit. So that was at the L1 position. So they can see any mass ejection that heads towards the Earth. We've got lots of solar observatories here on Earth pointed at the sun at all times. My friend Josh works at the solar observatory in near Tucson. And they look at the sun all the time and tell us what's going on the surface, and they can see if like something's whipping off of there. You'll usually have a couple of days. Something blows off of there. It's going, you know, 1 million miles an hour, but it's got 90 million miles to go. So you got 90 hours until it will hit the Earth. So you have some warning. So if you get a big warning, like, hey, there's going to be a G5 event, which is the scariest one possible, and it's going to hit us and it's going to do us damage, you know, just turn off your electronics, make sure there's nothing coursing through any wires in your house, and you know, put your phone in a Faraday cage or something, I don't know, and just wait it out. Don't turn on your car, just let it hit and then go about your life. So but we're entering a period of max activity, which happens about once every 6.5 years, because it's 11-year cycle where it goes from sunspots to no sunspots. And so, you know, we're in the middle of that. I'm not your friend, and another anonymous. So there's another one there. Hey. Boom. Okay. So right now, Rosa via the anonymous is currently winning for the Goofy T-shirt. Okay. Don says, Shadem, AMC needs to stop making dumb moves like YOLOing a cursed gold mine and making NFTs. They're pumping the AMC credit card at the worst time. I can't imagine people are lining up to get that card. Yeah. And Rulnick, my dog, is barking back at Monkey Butt. Monkey Butt is now over it. She's like, she doesn't care anymore. She's like, man, there's nothing out there. Peter Udoka, Houston, I think you need to look into GTII stock. Don't miss out on this. Well, I mean, GTII is suing. I'm not sure how long that lawsuit's going to take, but, you know. Looks like it will pop when their lawsuit pays off. Boss, careful with French surplus. It might automatically surrender to Germany. Blair M, do you think this Amazon buying AMC have any grounds this time? If yes, will Bell be rich? Maybe. I mean, it depends on how they do the buyout. If they do an agreed buyout at a certain price, then you're just going to get a payment in lieu for all of your shares. If it's a hostile buyout and they got to buy the shares open market, that can cause a lot of squeezing in the price. So if that's the case, then cool. SJ, if I win the raffle, can I get the comic poster from the last show instead? Okay. SJ poster. Okay. Put that on there. Rob Murphy actually says, my fish wears a mattress, I'm wearing vinegar. Sure. Don't lick. Don't lick. Let it be, monkey. Yes, I am wearing vinegar. Fight Rosa tooth and nail for that t-shirt. Juan Ortega, new Wu-Tang album not yet released. Amazon has music streaming. Maybe Genie will have music. I'm all for that. I'm happy to dilute my chances for Rosa. Vizio guy, give it to Rosa. Shipping's a bitch. Okay. We'll attach that Vizio guys to the Rosa. Okay. Boom. There we go. All right. Holy crap. Did I reach the end? Am I at the end? What? How? I went through all those and wrote down everything? How on earth? And sent Monkey Butt outside for a loop around the house. So left you guys for a couple minutes with nothing to do. What in the world? Okay. Well, we reached our goal. I reached the end of the chat. I got nothing. Monkey Butt, do you have anything? No? Okay. Don't jinx it. Well, I got nothing. I will do the raffle on tomorrow's show. I have to remember to do the raffle for tomorrow's show. So tomorrow's show, we'll do the raffle. We'll do it live. I just got to make a Excel spreadsheet and then put it into that random name generator thing for children. And we will find ourselves a winner. A winner chicken dinner. Right? What about Wells Fargo? Wells Fargo's a crappy bank. They're my crappy bank. Is anything happening with them right now? News. Beacon Financial Group sells 5,371 shares of Wells Fargo. That's not very many shares. Okay. More Wells Fargo shrinking mortgage business. Wells Fargo sells asset management. We already did that one like 2 years ago. Wells Fargo, once number one player in mortgages, is stepping back from the housing market. Those are never good signs. They got rid of personal lines of credit. They got rid of most of their credit card options. They got rid of most of their business loans, and now they're getting rid of their mortgage business. That is the sign of a bank that's about to die. That's not good. That's not good for anybody. 51% of Wells Fargo and Company insiders sold in the last year. That's also a terrible sign. Yeah. Peter Doka, Houston came in a little late. Did you touch on the AMC midday halt? Why they halt it when it goes up? It halted on the rumors that Amazon was buying. So it went up 18% today or something. It went up really quickly at 18%. Let's see here. Yeah. So it went up. So it went up to. It went up 18% and then got halted. And when it opened up like 10% down. But it finished about $5. So good for them. Yeah, it's all based on the rumor that Amazon's going to try and buy AMC. There's an article that came out something saying that. Let's see if we can find it. I don't know who the original article was. We got Bloomberg saying it 4 hours ago. Benzinga saying it 5 hours ago. Amazon shares pop on Amazon rumors. So is there any others? What's the oldest one? 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. The Street back in November said Amazon is investing in movie theater releases, and that could be very bullish for AMC stock. But looks like Bazinga is the one 5 hours ago is the most recent. 3 weeks. So yeah, it's all based on that. Luke Alexander, Houston, when the economy collapses and all these hedge funds get liquidated to close their positions, wouldn't FINRA have to open MMTLP to trade so all those positions are closed? I don't know how they would do that. Currently, because it's a non-trading stock, FINRA has no jurisdiction. That's so they claim. But there is a lot of liability in there. That may be something for the courts to rule on. Honestly, I don't know how you close out those positions, because otherwise those liabilities just transfer to the banks or whoever the prime brokers were, and it sits there eating away at their margins. Yeah. Busy guy Bigum talks about get out ISDA banks. There are non-ISDA brokers. What does that question even make sense? He's saying get out of the big mainstream banks and get into credit unions is what he's saying. Is that the big banks are playing a dangerous game with your cash, with basically collateral that's not worth anything, and your money really isn't there. This is good. This is because of fractional banking. So, Darren Saunders. Sorry, Darren Saunders made. Let me write this down real quick before I forget. Darren Saunders. There we go. Okay. So let's bring up Paint. Let's draw some pictures. Okay. Bam. Bam. Scene. Get rid of Chrome. Bring up Paint. Paint, where are you? Paint. Done. I can't. You guys can't see it. I can't see it. Why are you not? Close. Open. Okay. Why is that not working? Why I have Paint selected and it's not showing up. Where'd it go? What's happening? Make it really big. Does that work? Nope. Still can't see it. Okay. Make it normal sized again. No, I want to draw pictures and Porque. Overlay, monkey butt cam, audio input, MS Paint right there. It's not working. Turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that one off. Google Earth's off. Chrome's off. I'm gonna have to find like someone else's better image for me to use. 1 second. This is frustrating. For some reason, Paint's not showing up in my thingy anymore. Okay. This might be as good as we can get. Boom. Well. Okay, so let's say you have $10. You put your $10 into a bank, right? Put $10 into a bank, and you think you got just they take $10, they put it in the vault, and it sits there, whatever. No, what happens is the bank is required to keep 10% of your deposit as reserve, and they can do whatever they want with the other 90%. So they take that 10% to keep $1, and they take $9 and they lend it out to somebody. So let's say they lend the $9 out to someone, and in this case they're doing 100. So let's say 100. So you have $100 you put in the bank. They took $90 and lent it out to someone. So they take that $90, lend it out to someone. That someone takes that $90, puts it into the bank. Well, they have to keep 10% of that $90 to keep $9, and they can lend out another 81. So lend out another 81, and they keep 10% of that, which is $8.10, and then they lend out the other $73 or whatever. And then somebody deposits $73 in their account, and they keep 10%, $7.30, and they lend out the other $65-ish to someone else, and then somebody deposits $65. So this will go all the way down the chain until all that money is gone. They've lent it out, 100 times or whatever in the course of that money being used over and over again by the bank. There's a run on the bank. Everyone thinks they have $100, $90, $81, $73, so on inside the bank, and they all want their money back. Well, they don't actually have that much money in the bank because the bank lent it over and over and over and over and over again to everybody, and that's it. So credit unions don't necessarily work on the same apparatus. They don't lend out 90% of what's in there. The people who have their accounts in the bank are shareholders of the bank, and it makes them safer in an environment like this. So that's why, because a lot of the loans that are in there that are the value of this stuff are fixed rate loans from a couple years ago that are currently worthless, because why would you buy bonds at 1% interest when you go buy bonds at 6% interest? So, if people need their money back, it'll be like a First Republic or an SVB or Signature Bank, and the money just isn't there. And so FDIC has to step in, figure out how to guarantee those holdings and keep the economy from collapsing. That's the fractional reserve. PG, jumping in there. We're well over $1,000 now. You guys are doing a good job. Good job. And we got 23 minutes left. You got 23 minutes left. Are you happy about that, monkey? Yeah? Good dog. All right. Peter Doko, you're following XRP. Got in at 37 cents. It's at 52 cents. There's a good chance it might go to 100. I don't play crypto anymore. I don't touch crypto, not until Tether implodes and everything resets. Then maybe I'll get back into crypto. But I'm not touching crypto until Tether is finally done. Snort alert, when at the bottom finally follow crypto. When people realize Tether doesn't have their money. I found it interesting that CNBC posted an article this week talking about how where Tether has all these investments and that they have everyone's money and that they actually made, $1 billion or whatever off their investments. But CNBC didn't question anybody at Tether as to if this money actually exists, because when the federal government and regulators and the FBI went looking, they only found 3 cents on the dollar and $80 billion missing. And they still don't know who owns those accounts, because there's no names associated with them, and who actually created Tether. Can't find them. They're registered overseas. So, when Tether goes, the entire crypto market's going with it. Peter Doka, I get the rumor why halted. It's a circuit breaker. When a stock price rises too fast, an automatic halt goes into place. And if it rises like 10% in 5 minutes or something, then they halt it. That's why. It's just automatic circuit breaker in the system. Yogi, I'm really worried about this loan that Jimmy has to the French. I haven't paid it off for several quarters now. Have you seen what happens when the French get upset? Michael Harrell, use your crystal ball. Which day will we see mayhem? Monday or Tuesday. That's just total gut feeling. That gives them to get scary margin calls on Friday, figure out what the hell they're going to do on Monday, dump a bunch of crypto Sunday night, and then all hell breaks loose Monday or Tuesday. How's that for crystal ball? Oh, I'll be totally wrong, but might as well make some calls in there, right? Video guys, so just release some bogus article anytime you need a halt. Yeah. And guess what's going to be happening soon? All the legacy accounts that aren't willing to pay $1,000 a month for their blue checks on Twitter will disappear. So anybody can assume control of the name and rights of lots of Fortune 500 companies and do what they did back in November when they crashed the stock price of Eli Lilly and Lockheed Martin and stuff like that. I predict April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, we are going to see an absolute deluge of fake business accounts come back onto Twitter again and just destroy businesses. It's going to be just beautiful. That's what I think is going to happen. Lone Wolf, who's responsible, who presses the button? No one presses the button. It's an automatic algorithm in the stock ticker. It just automatically halts when the stock price gets too high. And it automatically halts when it drops too fast as well. Sometimes. Peter Doka, last question. Do you think there will be a silver squeeze once prime brokers lose liquidity, since JP Morgan is artificially holding it down? JP Morgan is facing criminal liability for artificially holding it down. So I don't think they can do that anymore, because it sounds like people are going to prison from JP Morgan for it. They also got fined billions. Silver will definitely squeeze. Silver and gold will squeeze at the same time when the markets crash. But usually there's like a delay. So markets crash, everyone sells everything they have, they go, oh no, and they buy gold. And then gold prices, a year later are usually like way up here. So that's probably how it would work. BG, Houston, is there someone powerful enough and ballsy enough to put an end to naked shares almost immediately? If so, fallbacks, repercussions? I feel it's rigged unless this can happen. You need a lot of liquidity. Like, let's say you had Elon Musk's wealth, that a year ago you had $200-300 billion in wealth, and you were selling a boatload. We're talking $40-50 billion in your Tesla stock, right? So you had a pile of cash in there. If Elon Musk had taken that cash and screwed with GameStop, rather than take that cash and blow it on Twitter, if he had taken that cash, he could have bought, I don't know, tens of thousands of calls at every price level for GameStop for the next year. Every week, just max out tens of thousands of calls on every single solitary one of those options available, going out a year or two. They get all the leaps you want, all the weeklies, get everything, just tens of thousands of dollars, just dump it on every single solitary level. Then, right, it probably costs him a couple billion of his $60 billion or whatever he has. So he spends $2 billion buying just an obscene number of calls at every level on GameStop from here to 2 years out. Okay. Then he goes to his little family brokerage account, his little family fund, and he starts pumping in the algorithm. He says, okay, at 9:37 a.m., computer, you are going to start bidding and lit markets for GameStop stock. And we're going to start at 5% above the current ask. Right? We're going to start 5% up. And he starts buying. He can spend, let's say he spends $100 million. So he still has fucking $58 billion sitting there doing nothing. He spends $100 million on stock in batches of 777 shares, which is the code for jack the price, right? So that all the market makers see, oh my gosh, you got to jack the price. He does 1,000 share buys, 777 share buys, 1,000 share buys, 77. And each time he raises the price 4 or 5%, it starts just skyrocketing the price, all based on one trading day, because he's buying $100 million of shares worth, right? He triggers, let's say, $30 in strike prices on his options. But he's got options that go all the way out for 2 years. And he decides, you know what? Fuck it. Exercise everything that's now met their strike price. Okay. So we're looking at everything from $22 to $52 all of a sudden goes in the money, and he exercises it. Tens of thousands of those options all along the line. The Monday Gamma would be insane, because you're looking at every 10,000 options is 1 million shares. And you got 30 levels of that. So you got 30 million shares for every single solitary week for the next 2 years that all of a sudden he's triggering. Well, all it takes is 10 weeks worth, and that's the entire authorized share amount. So you're going to cause an absolute cascade of forced buying by market makers and hedge funds to meet these options that are being printed, right? Which then all of a sudden spikes the price all the way through every possible level of the GameStop call options. And Elon Musk will have turned that $60 billion in liquidity into probably $1 trillion of liquidity in one day. So that would be how you'd be a whale and absolutely screw this entire system. The problem is that we don't have a whale that's that rich who's even willing to be that cruel to the hedge funds. So if I were Carl Icahn, that's exactly what I'd be doing right now. I would be purchasing call options at every level for the next 2 years. And when I spent my money on closing out my short position and saw the stock price rise, it would trigger every single solitary one of those options to go in the money. And then you just exercise it and force a gamma squeeze. And then that would cause the price to go more, you exercise it again and force another gamma squeeze. And you get to the point where they have to buy so many shares that they're buying the shares from you to pay you the shares back again. So they'll be paying you 10, 50, 100,000x on the shares you just purchased to get you more shares that you just executed in those orders. Could absolutely be just beautiful mayhem. And I just wish that there was a sketchy enough billionaire out there to just have fun like that. Carl, the ball is in your court. You could do this right now if you wanted to, because Elon isn't smart enough to do that. He bought Twitter and lost $40 billion right off the bat. Okay. Augustine Perales, can FRC squeeze and how much? I don't know, because it sounds like people are pulling their money out of FRC, and if they pull their money out, then there ain't no bank anymore. They get seized by FDIC, and then that's it. Their stock stops trading. Jamie Dimon seems to be wanting to try and save them, but that's just kind of shoveling money into a bottomless pit at this point, I think. Michael Harrow, if we were waiting for some institution to fall off a cliff, would you want to be the one to push the institution off the cliff that sets off the craziness, or would you stop yourself? I mean, you're talking like as a regulator? As a regulator, that would suck because they would want to blame you for everything. If you are a billionaire and you shove that thing off a cliff, they're going to call you a hero. Look what he did. So that's the difference of how that works. Julianne, Houston viewers are awesome. Just saying. They are. Julian also says the only people pushing the institutions over the edge are the institutions themselves. This also is true. The Belgian whale is a Mexican whale for 3 weeks. Isla Hoblox now. Any South Mexican tips? I have never been further south than basically Rosarita on the Baja coast. So I have no Mexican tips to give. Those places in Mexico I'd love to go, but I've never been. So maybe people in the chat have been to southern Mexico and they can give you all the tips they want. Oh, the kitty cat's back. Hey, buddy. Hi. You gonna go mess with the cat? Is that what you're gonna do? Okay. All right. Erica, do you think the market will crash within 3 months? I'm late. Maybe you already discussed it. I think the market will crash within the next 3 weeks. I think it's actively crashing now. Come and say hi, Cat. There you go. Cat made it. He's alive. Are you good, Cat? Are you good? Can I scratch your butt off? Can I just scratch it right off? Oh, yeah. Yep. Get over there. Do your cat thing. Do your cat thing. Okay. Put that there. Put that there. Get there. Good there. Okay. Whisper, Houston, happy birthday. You mentioned a few times that 90% of crypto is held by institutions. For life of me, I can't find the article support this claim. 90% of crypto is held by 3% of holders, something like that. So this is from 2021. 10% of miners control 90% of all the Bitcoin. December 2021, 0.01% of Bitcoin holders control a third of all Bitcoin. Bitcoin's 1% is actually 0.01%. So 0.01% of Bitcoin holders control 27% of the currency in circulation. Again, 10% of Bitcoin miners are responsible for 90% of Bitcoin. So basically 10% owns 90%. 40%. So big. This is from 2017. This is 5 years ago. Back then, 40% of Bitcoin was held by 1,000 users. So Bitcoin definitely has a liquidity problem if that's the case. So if they want to get cash at some point, there's going to be a large amount of dumping. Okay, this is from March of last year. Upper bound of individual ownership is that 2% of Bitcoin holders hold 71.5% of the circulating supply. So 2% owns 75%. So it's gotten a little more egalitarian. So there's the majority of coins are owned by very few. Just like any other economic system that you have. Forbes, more than half of all Bitcoin trades are fake, spoofing. People dealing to each other. Okay. There you go. That's how it is. So you can just search. I just searched 90% of crypto held by in Google, and then that brought me to all sorts of articles talking about the number of owners there are. Nil21981. The rumor is the Fed bought Tether and will use them to transition to CBDC. I don't think so. No, the Fed's not going to buy a coin that doesn't have an owner with a name, and they can't find any of the reserves to back it up. Unless they're buying Tether for like 80 cents in a handshake. They're not. I don't think that. I think they're just they develop their own central bank currency. Okay. Iggy Shoop is there to union duties. Thought we were talking foods. Michael Harrow, we find out who Satoshi Nakamoto is. I don't know. There's that one dude who claims he's Satoshi Nakamoto, but doesn't really seem to know much about programming, so I doubt it was him. Also, Satoshi means intelligence and Nakamoto means central. So there's always the rumors that Bitcoin is created by the CIA, Central Intelligence. I always like that conspiracy theory. Cracks me up. Whisper, thank you. I suck at Google. Oh, kitty cat. How you doing, kitty cat? I'm at the end of the chat for a second time. I'm at the end of the chat. Twice I made it to the end of the chat. And Anonymous, there's another $5 for Rosa. So those of you who are joined really late in the last 6 minutes, we've been raising money for Mental Health America for Charity Tuesday. At any time, hit that donate button. You can donate. If you donate in your name, you go into the raffle to win our Goofy shirt of the day, which is a little Japanese girl screaming, "My fish, where's a mattress?" in Japanese. That's going to be on a t-shirt for you. And if you donate anonymously, then that's going to get counted towards Rosa winning the t-shirt. So she's got 250 or so entries from anonymous donors for my Fish Wears a Mattress t-shirt. So by all means, keep donating. You can write off your taxes and you can help a good cause because Americans, we be crazy. So quick, everyone type something. Talvin 4 was the winner of our calendar. Also happens to be a neighbor up in Port Townsend, not too far from me. I offered to deliver, for Monkey Butt and I to deliver the calendar in person, but Talvin had COVID at the time, so there was no delivering of the calendar in person. If you happen to be a local person, I'll gladly drop off a t-shirt in person for you. Two Wheel Freedom. There we go. Bam. We're at 1.1. We're 1,100 raised in Ryzen. Yeah. And people are typing. Snurtler's typing Gallagher. So Geostock will go up? Erica, which Geostock? Belgian whale. I'm abroad and can't donate because my VPN, which is on Belgium, gets interrupted by YouTube as Romania. Ah. Okay, hi buddy. You're back. All right. Oh, helicopter ear. Yeah, your little dog. Okay. Erica, expand. So Geostock will go up. I don't know what Geostock is. I don't know. We got 4 minutes of me going, I don't know, because there's no more questions popping up in the chat. Monkey Butt, do you have anything? Oh, do you know what I haven't done? We haven't done this. Oh, yes. This is what the Monkey Butt loves. We can waste 30 seconds doing this, can't we? I think we can. Let's close up. Oh, it smells like such beef jerky. Beef jerking like crazy there. Okay. You want to get up in there? You want to get up in there? Anonymous. Fantastic. Another 20 on there. For the Rosa gets a t-shirt raffle ticket. Another one. Such a good dog. Okay. Julianne, I'm local to me. We have 2 sunny days in a row and I'm shocked. And the weather's supposed to get nice. Opening days on Thursday and it's going to be in the 60s. So play ball. Jay Kurtz, miss your baseball days? Hates question. I do miss my baseball days. I miss being able to throw a baseball really, really hard and people go, whoa. Just the sound of throwing a baseball in the 90s, just the is like, oh, felt so good. Now I throw a baseball and it makes no sound whatsoever. It is silence. But man, back in the glory days, just whipping that thing by some people and then being like, oh, I haven't seen something like that before was really great. I enjoyed it a lot. Man. MS, read 3x today, crash in 60 days. I bet we have a crash very soon. It's coming, man. Michael Harrow, does Finner have anything left to modify or are they done modifying? I'm sure they'll find ways to screw up and have to modify some more. Do you see JT Real get thrown out of the game for moving his hand? Yeah, he put his glove back to get the ball, and I think he thought the ball was there, and the tossed the ball into his mitt, and it was like, get out of here, because it wasn't. He moved his hand. That was hilarious. Michael Berry, about 37% of Geostock news in Europe. Oh, I have no idea what the hell is Geostock. Looks like it went up after hours. So we have price was at 770 and now it's up 785, 788 after hours. Year to date, it's still lower than it was in February. Came down. What's 5-year look like? Been as high as 25, been as low as 519, and recently as high as 12. Private pensions and mental health facilities in North America, Australia, South Africa, United States, United Kingdom. So we're doing a mental health charity, but this seems to be a private prison group that claims to do mental health facilities, but also just private prisons. I don't know. I don't like owning private prison stock. That just seems gross. I don't think prisons should be run by private companies. I think they should be run by the state. If the state's going to incarcerate people, the state should take on that responsibility. In the United States, it incarcerates more people than anyone, so I don't like the idea of paying someone a profit to put people away, because it incentivizes putting people away. Yeah. So, I'm all for like nationalizing the prison system and not having any private companies involved whatsoever with the prison system. Julianne, did Scott ever get his stuff out of the garage? He got some of it. There's still some stuff in there, Scott. I know you were in here earlier in the show. Come get your shit, Scott. But I've not been able to do the gold making yet in the garage. The weather's getting warmer, which makes it much more inviting to do that stuff. So I need to get stuff out, and then I can get the rock grinder out, and I need to mount the rock grinder to a movable table, and then we're good to go. because I have a manual grinder, so I have to like pump. It's like one of those like train cars where you like pump up and down to move. It's like that, and it grinds these two plates together and turns stuff to powder. And I just need space to do that, not to build a big table with a whole bunch of cinder blocks in it to keep it weighted down, because I don't want the table to flip on me. So that's where we are. But I can't build the table until I got room in the garage. I don't have room in the garage until Scott gets shit. So. Two-wheel freedom, Burry hinting on future financial terrorists heading to prison. Make gold. I do make gold. I take old scrap electronics and I get gold out of it. Julianne actually sent me a whole bunch of stuff I still have right here of, old processors, old AMD chips. So it's like they're heavily gold-plated pins, and you can get the gold off of them. Some Intel Pentiums in here as well. Pentiums are all right. That's good. The best ones, if you can find 486 chips and before, those have the highest concentrations per pound. The Pentium Pros also had a really good. You could do was it 3 grams out of one Pentium Pro chip, or was it a third of a gram? I can't remember. I'll look at the chart. But all the little fingers, gold plating on the fingers of the chips, plus the IC chips and memories. You can grind those up. They've got gold in them too. Lots of gold to be had. So I want to grind them up, get some gold, and make some ingots. All right, it's 4:30. We raised over $1,000. Let me see. You guys might be able to see on your end exactly how much. I got to open up the actual YouTube page so I can see how much has been raised. What we got? Where are we? $1,122 raised for Mental Health America. So we can update the Twitter on that. I'll do the raffle tomorrow if I remember. Tonight I've got to put everything together for the Excel spreadsheet so I can do the raffle. Rosa has 270 entries out of the 1,022. So thank you, anonymous people. Rosa has no idea at this point that she may win a t-shirt. So otherwise it's up for one of you lovely people on this sheet of scribbles that I have to translate into Excel so I can do that. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for helping out a great cause. Remember, if you're watching the show at home, not live, recorded, hit the donate button. You can still donate. If you're watching a week from now, you can still hit that donate button and donate. So help everybody out. And I want to thank you so much for making our 22nd successful Charity Tuesday in a row. And we're doing it for mental health. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow for our regular Wednesday show. Cool? Cool. Bam.